Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the inn. I am Bulbazak, and this is Eddie Fenix, and we're going to start off with Chief Inspector. It's a 5-cost 4/6 with a battle cry: destroy all enemy secrets. Cool. I mean, it's not any eater secret, so it's not going to get bigger, but cool. I mean, I guess this could be a tech card if we have major secret decks, and it's nice to actually have an anti-secret tech card. But I'm also thinking that Eater Secret saw marginal play. It basically rose and fell just depending on how big the secret decks were. But it never saw a huge degree of play, and so I'm really not expecting Chief Inspector to see a huge degree of play. Maybe if secrets become a problem, it peeks its head back up, but other than that, I just think this is a really unique tech card that we need, and it's just going to serve that purpose.
Yeah. 100% not even having to sit here and make an argue debate over this, because it's just like, yeah, you're right. If anything, with Eater of Secrets rotating out, something's got to rotate into its spot, and Chief Inspector just rotates into that spot and slot. So it's just like, well, alright, this is your tech card, or at least, tech card for secrets. Depending on how the meta shapes, you play it as such. We move to Cinderstorm. 3-cost. Mage spell. Deal 5 damage. Randomly split among all enemies. So for 2 more, you're getting a arcane missiles with 2 more damage. Alright. I can get behind this, because if anything, for 4 more, when you really start to look at the math on this whole thing, the greater arcane missiles that'll be rotating out gave you 9 damage, but in 3 damage intervals. With this, you're just, getting your math basically in a better bundle in a sense. Sure, you can pair it with your Blood Mage Thanos and make it be a miniature rapid fireball. I think, if anything, if you take this card and you grab it from Primordial Glyph, having this as a 1-cost is incredibly powerful. Do not get me wrong. As far as mainstays go, this could go into an odd mage deck if you would want it to. And if anything, just being able to just have that spell damage just be spit and vomited out as far as being able to use it for board control is another thing that's actively good. So, Bob, I'm going to kick this in your direction.
It's alright. Yeah, like I said, it's just a better arcane missiles. Can we see some play in a tempo deck? It just depends on what goes in, what goes out. I think it might see fringe play. I just don't think it sees regular play, because Arcane Missiles doesn't see a lot of regular play. Normally, like I said, in tempo decks are such. Could be insane if it's in the right deck with like a bunch of spell damage minions. Just Cinderstorm. But Arcane Missiles can be insane for the same reasons, and a lot of times it doesn't see a lot of play. So I think this is a... This just depends on this. I think this is a filler spell in mage decks. It's not going to be a main star. You're not going to just put it in there to you're like, I'm definitely putting in Cinderstorm. But I think that if you're going, well, I have slot free, you consider Cinderstorm. And it might get more consideration now, because there are a lot of really good mage spells rotating out. I think the biggest one rotating out is going to be Firelands Portals. So there's going to be some empty slots aching to be filled, and Cinderstorm might fill in the gap there, but let's just be honest here. Once the next set comes out, Cinderstorm is probably going to be replaced very quickly by whatever the hot mage spell is. Next up, we have Curio Collector, which is a 5-cost 4/4 mage minion, with the ability, whenever you draw a card, gain +1/+1. Cool. I think this might see play in a Tempo Mage deck. You're going to have stuff like Arcane AI to draw you a couple cards. You have the new Elemental that can potentially draw you cards, although I don't think Tempo Mage plays that. This just gets bigger every turn anyway. But the main reason, instead of just dismissing him saying, yeah, maybe, is because I'm thinking of Aluneth. And even though I still think Aluneth is a gigantic piece of crap, Tempo Mage does tend to play it. And if Tempo Mage does continue to play Aluneth, Curio Collector fits in really snugly in that deck. You put Curio Collector, you have Aluneth, and yeah, now you're on the clock as far as burning cards and fatigue, but that Curio Collector is getting very scary. So I think it may find a home in Tempo Mage as long as they continue to play Aluneth. If they don't play Aluneth, I don't think this sees played at all.
Well, given, if anything, that we have all this new stuff to kind of potentially make a creature / board flood mage, and then you throw in Aluneth. One of the cards you definitely have to look at when you start throwing in Aluneth with this deck, I have to vote, is the Deck of Wonders. Because you're going to need something to refill your deck if you're going to try to start burning through your cards with Aluneth. You can't Medivh it anymore, because Medivh is going to be rotating out too. So it's just like, a heap. Does the Gadgetzan Gazette still get the scoop? Because that was one of the first things that crossed my mind when I saw Curio
Rotation.
Collector. I know rotation, yes. But I was just like, I look at this and I saw Daring Reporter, and I'm just like, And I just, I can most certainly see this as an arena card, because it's a really good arena affecting card. Standard, I had to give the question mark to, because I don't know how Mage is going to evolve when it comes to that. So it's just like, I'm going to keep an eye on this one. As I move myself over to Curse of Weakness. 2-cost Warlock spell. Echo. Give all enemy minions -2 attack until your next turn. Okay. So, if anything, first of all, Bulb, you can be prepared to hate me, because I do have to point out that combo that you found with Curse of Weakness. So, going with Curse of Weakness, because it has the Echo effect, you can make it to where your opponent their minions lose 4 attack, and then play Mossy Horror on 10 if you want to. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, Warlock has a shit ton of removal. So, running this in something like Warlock, you've already got a ton of it. So, I don't know if you necessarily need that combo. It's available to you if you want it, though. So I'm just going to back up and just say that. As far as the spell itself goes, if you're looking to control the board against your opponent in, like, a Zoo matchup, because Zoo is one of those things where it is very board-centric and board-heavy. So, Curse of Weakness could be something that you look at and potentially play it with your Zoo deck to kind of keep the board in line while also having your board just stay active. But like I said, these are just mainly hypothetical things you can do. Realistically, I give it the big question mark of, will it actively be a part of the, like the active high-end scene or the active low-end scene for that matter? Well, can you throw me a bone to potentially, get me off of the question mark?
I think the weakness horror combo is probably the biggest thing this has going for it. Otherwise, I think Warlock just has too many things to even consider running it. So, I mean, if they are going to look at that old type of combo that they can either run on turn 8 or turn 10, then the sees play. If not, I think they just stay with the standbys, the old standbys here. Next up, we have Cutthroat Buccaneer, which is a 3-cost 2/4 rogue pirate with the combo give your weapon +1 attack. Not bad. It's probably going to be easy enough to combo this thing anyway, and could be scary in pirate decks or Kingsbane rogue deck. A Kingsbane rogue deck. I say this is definitely playable. This will see play, hands down.
As soon as I saw it, and as soon as it basically came out onto the board because they were showing a little bit of Kingsbane Rogue off during the stream, I literally opened my Hearthstone, went to Rogue. I had been sitting on my dust. I had 5,100 dust. And just went, alright, come here, Kingsbane. I'm crafting you right now because Cutthroat Buccaneer is going to be just like, bink, one of the cards that's going to definitely see play and be played in Kingsbane Rogue. No doubt in my mind. So, this one's in there. This one's in the money. I move to Dark Possession. 1-cost Warlock spell. Deal 2 damage to a friendly character. Discover a demon. Q-block. You do not need more tools to make yourself busted. You already are bloody amazing as it is. And all this really does is just add more fuel to the fire when it comes to that. This also makes it to where I can potentially see an uptick in Skulking Geist play. Granting, yes, the biggest deck that Skulking Geist targeted was Jades. That's rotating out, but there's still a lot of good 1-cost spells that can be played with Warlock. And plus, you target a friendly character, so you can target yourself, give your Lesser Spellstone a buff, get a demon, so you've got some bloody value. This is too good. This is too good to not see play. Like, yeah, Q-Block's losing 3 cards. I can see this being one of the 3 cards that fills that slot. Ball, tell me I'm wrong or convince me otherwise.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. In fact, you could... I was going, well, they have a lot of good tools, so this might have to wait until good tools rotate out, and then you start talking more, I'm going, oh, crap, he's right. Oh, crap, he's right. Oh, crap, he's right. This is meta-defining busted right here. Be afraid. Be very afraid, because you know what demons they're going to be looking for. They're not going to be looking for things that bog down their Gul'dan. They're going to be looking on stuff that just... Oh. Blizzard, why?
Yeah, if anything, like, yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on Q-Block, but you know what? In the meantime, here's some more tools for Q-Block. We might nerf it, we might not. We don't know yet. Just...
Hey, you should have nerfed it back during the last round of nerfs, like everybody was saying you should have. I mean, oh my word. Seriously?
Like, yes, I will admit, this deck is very skill-intensive. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I played the deck myself, and it's just, if you make one minute mistake, it can cost you the game, but at the same time, it's disgusting.
I mean, I was thinking this was good with outside of Q-Block, but with considering Q-Block is insane, this was the wrong time to print this card. This is the wrong time. You couldn't wait a year, Blizzard? Oh my word. Meta definer. Hands down. Be scared of this card.
Yeah, highly meta defining. Highly.
Oh. I think Skulking Guys is just going to stay as one of the premier tech... Here's the thing. If you haven't already, tech weapon removal. If you haven't already, tech silences. You probably need weapon removal more than silences. And if you haven't already, well, I would say you're going to have to stick with Skulking Guys as a tech card. You're going to need 3 different... Basically, 3 different types of tech cards that are going to be out there. I don't think you can include them all in a deck, but you definitely need to consider them. And the sad part is, all of them target the same deck.
Yeah, which is going to be sticking around. Well, if anything, and it's not even just that. You also have Paladin, Aggro Paladin can still work. So weapon removal is going to be one of your biggest things because being able to get demons out earlier and easier, that's big. Because that's one of the biggest tools where Q Luck is concerned, is they use that skull.
Yeah, weapon removal has always been a good tech.
Yeah, so you can look at your Ooze, you can look at your Harrison Jones. Depending on what you're playing, you have if you're playing a Gen Greymane deck, you have your Acidic Swamp Ooze. If you're playing a Baku style deck, you do have Harrison Jones, and you have the other you have Gluttonous Ooze and the other Ooze that was printed at 5 cost. So you've got those for weapon removal. But if anything, I don't want to spend too much time on the card and too much time, discussing deck stuff, because you're gonna figure it out. I promise you that. If anything, Bob, I'm gonna let you get to the next card.
Okay, it's Darkmire Moonkin, 7 cost, 2/8 with minion with spell damage +2. Wow. I kind of do like it, but I'm also kind of wondering, does it fit in any particular slots? But it has a big body. It's going to stay on the board. That spell damage +2 is very nice. Any decks that need spell damage wants a nice, sturdy minion. I think this sees some play there. Otherwise, I think most decks are going to pass on it. But I do think that it might be enticing enough to actually see some play in some decks.
Okay. If anything, look at this and I think most people are going to kind of glance at it and then just go, meh, and move on, because it's just you have Archmage at 6 cost. 6 cost, 4/7, that does +1 spell damage. Now, granting, yes, they've kind of flip the stats a little bit to dance it around and make it better as far as making this a 7 cost. All right, we're going to make it to where it has 2 less attack, 1 more health, and does +1 more spell damage. I mean, I can potentially see this going into Lady in White because, hey, 7 cost, 8/8, why not? But I don't even think this makes it in Arena. So I don't think this makes it in Constructed either.
We've said that before about spell damage. I think spell damage +2 might be the deciding factor on this. That's why I think it may see a degree of play, but it just depends on the type of decks or the type of players that are looking for that card. I'm putting this one up in the air because I need to consider it in a vast array of not just this set, but all the other sets to see if it fits in anywhere. So I'm not dismissing this card. I don't think it sees a wide amount of play, but I think there might be a possibility for it.
And if anything, I won't 1,000,000% dismiss it, but I'll look at it and just go, right now I don't see a probable thing. If something crops up, hey, prove me wrong. That is one of the biggest things I have always been a champion about, is that if I can look at a card and see it as something that is just meh, prove me wrong on it, please. Just definitely prove me wrong on it, because that's the sort of thing I'm like, all right, I'll definitely eat some humble pie on it. Speaking of anything to just eating humble pie, I'm going to shift over and just segue into Deranged Doctor. 8 cost, 8/8. Death Rattle. Restore 8 health to your hero. Yo, dog, I heard you like 8/8s, so we're going to 8/8 your 8/8 with your 8. I mean, I definitely think this sees play in Arena. As far as Constructed goes, I think this would be a very strong Priest card. No doubt in my mind it would be incredibly strong, especially if you're looking at something like Amara or Quest Priest. You can cheat it out with Coffin Crasher. And like I said, if anything, it's that heal 8 health to your hero. And just the body on that thing is really strong and powerful. So your opponent either takes care of it, and then you heal 8, or they leave it be and then they take 8, or at least you can control their side of the board with it. So this one's up in the air for me as far as being able to see play goes. I know I've at least talked and argued my point on it. So if you think, Bulb, can you give me the counter side on this one, or do you think, are you thinking the same lines as me?
This sees play. It's not a matter of does it. This sees play. The stat line is good for the cost. Add in the death rattle. This is an amazing card. Every aspect of this card is amazing and good. And when the Hearthstone community judges cards and plays cards based on basically on the stats in conjunction with the cost, as well as the effect, all of that added in together, I'm thinking this is the new Healbot. This thing is scary. Even without the death rattle, it's scary. But you wouldn't play it as a vanilla minion. With the death rattle, it's a must play. And okay, so they silence and get rid of the death rattle. They still have to contend with this huge 8/8 on the board that you can just hit him in the face with, or buff up even further, or whatever you want to do. This is just scary from every angle, and I think this is going to see play in a lot of decks. I think this is a meta-defining card.
Also, if anything, this thing going in wild, big priest, being able to potentially, big priest was already scary and dangerous enough as it is. Being able to have just constant healing resource now, whoo, man, whoo.
Yeah, we've seen players not shy away from big cards if everything about them, effects and everything is just right, and this is just right from every angle. This is going to see play, no doubt in my mind.
Dangerous. We in the danger zone now, Bulb. Ooh.
If anybody actually thinks this does not see play, there's something wrong with them. I'm just going to say it. Heck yes, this sees play. Oh my word. Next up, we have Divine Hymn. It's a 2-cost pre-spell that restores 6 health to all friendly characters. This is very good. Priest actually has a lot of tools now that if they want to, they can create big things and have a minion of big Buffy, a big board, and basically a way to mass heal them is amazing. Especially, well, no, this would be going to again, but I mean, mass healing your board. This is an amazing card, and there are priest cards that can take advantage of this. And even if you weren't playing one of those, just the fact that you probably put this into a deck that you're gonna have a lot of big beefy minions that you need to keep healed up. And the fact that this, oh my word, this is just amazing from every level. This is going to play in every priest deck? No, but I think that it will see play.
I don't know, dude. When you say, I don't know if this will see play in every priest deck, I don't know about that part. Because it's too good.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's way too good to not see play. I mean, you're healing all friendly characters. That includes you and your face.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if anything, the good thing is that you can't, it'd be stupid to combo this with Arachni Soul Priest. It really would. Because then you're damaging all your stuff for 6. Unless you're looking for something nutty and crazy that's like an OTK to kill your opponent. But given that the greater healing potion is rotating out, this is that replacement for 2 mana. Being able to shadow visions for this. This is really good. This sees play, no doubt. Gonna move on to Felsoul Inquisitor. It's a 4-cost, 1/6 lifesteal, taunt, neutral demon. What are you doing outside a warlock? Blizzard, what are you doing? This is new. Like, I mean, there's another demon that's running around about out there that is a legendary in the classic set.
No, they've been doing this for a while. They've printed demons outside of Warlock before. It's very rare, but it does happen.
I know, it's just like I said, this is one of those other instances where I'm just like, what are you doing? Just what you doing? Arena, I can see this thing play for a definite because, 4 cost 1/6. That's a big butt they gotta get through. Granted, the attack is kind of garbo, but it takes care of your paladin crap. So, plink, 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 plink. As far as constructed play goes, Bulb, do you have somewhere where we can put this in constructed besides Warlock?
Lady in White Priest.
Fair. You've given me that. Yeah, I should.
That'd be about it, though, I think. Next up, we have Fiendish Circle, which is a 4-cost Warlock spell that summons 4 1/1 imps. So it's a demon calling the finishers. But here's the thing. Calling the finishers is good because you had ways to combo off of it. Either you used it in Year of the Kraken, you basically used it in conjunction with I'm trying to remember with everything could happen to just buff up your board. And Year of the Mammoth, you used it to help complete the spell. And so basically, it was used in conjunction with another card to help you get to whatever your end game was. We don't have that with Warlock. Like, what would summoning 4 1/1 imps do in Warlock? I don't think Zoo really wants to play this because I think Zoo wants a little more value other than spending a turn going 4 1/1 imps. You want to know why Implosion was good? It wasn't just the imps; it was the fact that it did damage and summoned imps. This just summoned imps. I think Warlock, even in Zoo, wants to spend their mana in a way that gives them a more threatening board than just a board with a bunch of imps. Unless we are given something in Warlock to basically incentivize us to basically play demons. Like maybe next expansion we see a quest that basically we need to play so many demons or something. Maybe this sees play, but I think without that incentive, whether it is something that whether it's a win condition card that diminishes or takes advantage of the amount of demons you have on the board, or whether it's a quest or something where you need to get where you need to summon a bunch of demons, there's no reason to play this card. I just don't think Warlock plays this card.
As much as I do not want to agree, because it's just like I look at it and I go, oh hey god, that's a really nice Zoo card, because it's just you drop it and you play it and Zoo just fills the board. I'm sitting here going, alright, I know potentially that a buffing card that should go along with it is getting rotated in Crystal Weaver, but I need to, triple check and make sure, because
it is.
Just... So Wild Zoo could potentially, get bigger and stronger.
Oh, Wild Zoo runs Implosion instead of this. Same cost, yeah. Similar effect.
Right now, the biggest draw is that it fills the board. And if anything, your opponent is only going to have so much removal. Now, the other thing I also tend to think about is, because even with Zoo, if you absolutely 1,000,000% have to run late game, you're running Blood Reaver Gul'dan. So, you're having your 5/5 chargers pop back up with Doomguard. Not 5/5 chargers, excuse me. 5/7 chargers. Pop back up with Doomguard. And then you got a bunch of little ones come along with it. Or just potentially a bunch of 1/1s because, RNG kind of flipped you the bird. And you just have 7 1/1s on board because, I have talked myself out of this card. I really have. I was trying to make a fight for it, but I'm just like, you know what? Nope. Talked myself out of it. Furious Ettin. 7 cost, 5/9, neutral, taunt. You know, we have a running joke in the memers chat where we have what we call the People's Champion. And that People's Champion came from Journey to Ungoro in Giant Mastodon. Now we have the other running meme with this card being a competitor to the People's Champion. So if anything, I have to at least make that call. As far as seriousness goes, it's got a really nice body. 5 and 9 for 7. Ball Creeper did see some good, decent play. I highly see this in Arena. I really do. Because of all like the rotation one that's happening. So this goes in Arena in place of Ball Creeper. Constructed, you can pull this from Stonehill and this be nice and useful. But playing it main deck, I'm not 1,000,000% sold. Bob?
The Baku taunt decks might play it, might being the optimal word here. I'm not sure if they do. Same thing for Lane and White Priest. It might play it, but again, a 7 cost 9/9 taunt may not be worth it. We're going to have to see how those decks get built out. So this is one of those things that it may see played depending on the deck, but it also may not. It's nice. It's a nice body and everything, but it's just going to depend on how the decks get built here. I would not rule this card out yet, but it just may be. It may come down to the wire as far as whether it makes it into the meta or not. Next up, we have Hench-Clan Thug, which is a 3 cost 3/3 with the effect after your hero attacks, give this minion +1/+1. So the few decks that can attack, it just buffs up every turn, which means it's going to be easy to deal with. And I can't see. Maybe this goes into some sort of aggro deck, but I almost wonder if it goes into an aggro deck early and then just kind of falls by the wayside after a while because it's just so slow to build. And your hero has to attack, and there are not a lot of decks that can pull that off consistently, and a lot of those that do are kind of going to be falling by the wayside. Maybe Rogue can, but I don't think Rogue is really interested in playing this minion. So I think this sees a little bit of play early on, but I then think this falls away. We're not going to see this by the end of the meta.
Lifedrinker. 4 costs, 3/3. Battle Cry, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero, restore 3 health to your hero. Beast, it's neutral. It's, for some reason, being voted as far as Hearthstone community goes, going into Shaman? Like, 82% of the vote says this goes into Shaman?
What? Oh, wait. No, I can see it. Never mind.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I see and understand why, because you've got the battle cry and just going, all right, whoosh, and just being able to just constantly heal yourself, because you've also got healing ring, you've got Shudderwalk. Got it now. You just had to say Shudderwalk and you figured it out. Well, no, it was just, I'm like, I see it now because it was going, hang on a minute, I gotta talk myself into it. It's like, Shaman? Alright, hang on, why? And I started listing down cards, and then I just I hit it. I hit each card that I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, right. Because you have the Shimmering Tempest, which is the little elemental that deals the battle cries twice. And then you go, all right, I'm going to play Lifedrinker. Lifedrinker makes it where I heal. I also have healing rain to be able to keep myself healed up and play a control style of Shaman. And then, of course, we both just mentioned it, Shudderwalk. Okay, got it. I get why this, sees, if anything, I get why this is playable. I get why people see this as very good. You could potentially see this also in Warlock. You could potentially make it to where, that's your hero power that does that. You can't use Clockwork Automation with this. So, no. As much as I want to try it with that, can't do that. I do think this definitely sees play now. So, while I'm kicking this one, I'm just gonna kick this in your direction.
You got Shaman, you got Warlock, but you missed a class, Eddie. Hunter. Hunter plays this card.
Hunter.
It deals face damage, heals your hero, and it's a beast, so you can use that to proc off kill command. Yes, this sees play. This sees play in aggro decks. This sees plays in anything that has a zoo type mentality, and this sees play in Shaman because of the battle cry. This is going to see play.
Dire Frenzy, this thing.
Oh boy. I mean, by that point, it's still just a 4-cost 6/6. I mean, it's going to do the same amount of battle cry, but yeah, it's scary.
Control Warrior, or not Control Warrior, but Control Hunter. Here we come.
And he's going to make a Control Hunter deck. Watch it. Next up, we have Lost Spirit, which is a 2-cost 1/1 with the Death Rattle. Give your minions +1 attack. Cool. Not going to see play. Next.
Hang on. It's one of those wait.
Spawn of N'Zoth. Has it seen a wide variety of play?
Spawn of N'Zoth was also a 3-cost 2/2. This is 1. It has 1 health. So, if anything, what immediately springs to mind for me, and this is
all right. Does the 1-cost 1/1 cultist that buffs up a minion, does it see play?
It doesn't.
Has any Death Rattle minion that buffs up minions, have they ever seen extensive play?
Not
No.
recently. But I'm at least gonna give this thing just a little bit of a fight, and just kind of give you a few ideas.
Well, here's the thing: as I did dismiss it, but I just explained to you the reasons why I dismissed it.
I know why you dismissed it. However,
and I played the Death Rattle decks.
I know. But that's why I'm just saying, give me a minute. Let me make an argument for it. Because, number one, you can put this in your zoo deck. Because you go, fill your board up with creatures, plop down Lost Spirit, you then hit it with Mortal Coil. Your creatures are buffed by 1, you draw 1. You can also play this in your Elemental Mage deck. You play it after you play Frostlight's Jaina. You tap, you kill the Lost Spirit, you give the minions that are on board and spawn +1 attack. And you get a 4/6 Water Elemental. That's the main argument I can give it. It can give you a little bit of value. And that's the only way I do it. Does it see widespread play? I can agree with you there. Hey. That it might not. Highly might not. But I can at least give an argument of, here's this. Just give this a look.
Well, even in those situations, you're expending a lot of resources for a slight benefit. Wherein, let's take Jaina for example. by that point, you're in sustain mode, so you really don't need to buff up the attacks. You just need to consistently spawn new minions. So, having something on your board with 1 health, you can do that. You don't necessarily need to be Lost Spirit. Playing, I forget what the name of it is. Playing the 2-cost 2/1 that gives you a spell achieves the same sort of goal, and now you have a resource in hand.
Shimmering Tempest.
Shimmering Tempest is the same type of serves the same type of purpose. The Frozen Champions that are spawned by Sindragosa form the same type of purpose. You really don't need Lost Spirit. And the thing is, when it comes to minion buffing effects, there are a lot of them in the game. Not a lot of them see play. Death Rattle ones especially have rarely seen widespread play. The ones that do tend to see play those type of effects that do see play tend to be battle cry effects, and they tend to be attached to a body that just doesn't suck. So yeah, I think Lost Spirit is just filler.
Like I said, I'm at least giving you that point because you're right. However, I'm at least also going to give an argument to where, this is where you could potentially utilize it. Because there's at least a utilization for every card sometimes.
And I'm sitting here in the background going, why are we arguing about Lost Spirit? This should have been a bad next, or a card that we just went right over. It should have been that simple. Why are we arguing about this card?
Because I like to at least make an argument for something. Moving on.
Why couldn't you give an argument over Hench-Clan Thug or whatever?
Hench-Clan.
I mean, you just went right over it.
Mad Hatter. 4-cost, 3/2, battle cry, randomly toss 3 hats to other minions. Each hat gives +1/+1. No. Just no. Bob, do you want to give me an argument on this one where it can be good?
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
No. 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 You're not going to want to toss hats randomly to other minions. Maybe if the hats came back, but even then, I don't think you want to. It's bad. Moving on. Let's talk about Marsh Drake. It's a 3-cost 5/4 dragon with a battle cry. Summon a 2/1 poisonous Drake Slayer for your opponent. I think that you could set things up in a way to kill that poisonous Drake Slayer, and if you do, you just summoned a 5/4 dragon for 3. This thing is scary. I think it sees some play.
As much as I hate to agree. Oh yeah, I saw this, I was like, oh my god, this is so good. You start to think, man, dragons are gonna go away, and they're gonna, just not be a decent archetype. And then you see cards like this, and you go, shit, I was wrong. Dragon Hunter? Are we gonna see the legitimacy and finally see the rise of Dragon Hunter? A minion-based deck where this thing gets to potentially be played because, you can ping it off with your Jaina Hero power at 5. That poison is 2/1, and just have a 3-cost 5/4 on board. Ugh! Just, ugh! Yeah, this is play. I don't know exactly where it will be. Maybe a little bit here, a little bit there, but this is play.
How did you know I was planning on building a Dragon Mage deck?
Because if anything, I think back to Stukes. And, I remember he was the one who went Dragon Mage because of Cindergosa. And now we have more tools for it. So if anything, you've got your standard side and you got your wild side of being able to play Dragon something. But we can move on to Night Prowler. 4-cost 3/3 beast, battle cry. If this is the only minion in the battlefield, gain +3/+3. I'm just gonna raise my hand and go, Shaman anyone? Maybe Shaman? The reason I say maybe is because, of course, again, I go to Shudderwalk, excuse me. But you've also got Hunter that can play this because, well, it's a beast. If it gets +3/+3 already, you can just give it that Dire Frenzy. I don't know if the Dire Frenzy, as well as this, combos with it, but having 4 cost 9/9s on the board is ever fucking terrifying to me in thought and in theory. So, if anything, this is going somewhere, and I highly think it sees play. So, Bulb, can you convince me and throw me a no otherwise?
Because of the qualifier. If this is the only minion on in the battlefield, I think that by itself kills the card. Shaman is going to be constantly having and putting minions on the field, so you're not going to be able to play Night Prowler on 4. And even then, playing it just so that you hope that it goes off on Shudderwalk, because you're hoping that you play Shudderwalk on an empty board, is a lot to hope for. I'd rather just pick better battle cries for the cost. This is not going to Hunter, because Hunter is a very board-centric type class, so I'm going to play Night Prowler because this will be the only minion I have on the board. Yeah, it's not going to happen. And no, this does not see play. Lone Champion saw some fringe play, but it didn't really see play. Having a minion that, in order to get a good effect to make it worth it, if this is the only minion in the battlefield, is bad. This does not see play.
But our Q-Block Overlords.
Yeah, they're going to be really frightened of that 6/6 beast you have there.
Hey, a 4 cost 6/6?
If you have nothing on your field by that point in the game, you're in a bad position.
I'm just saying, if anything, because, Warlock does have the tools to be able to, at turn 4, make sure the board is clear. Because you got Defile, and you've got Hellfire, and things like that.
That's a lot of things to be counting on in order to make this card good. When you have that many qualifiers, that does not make the card good. That just means you don't want to admit it's bad.
I can give it a fight, if anything.
Next up, we have Nightscale Matriarch. It's a 7-cost 4/9 Priest Dragon with the effect whenever a friendly minion is healed, summon a 3/3 Whelp. And holy crap, is this scary! Especially when we consider Divine Hymn. What? What? I mean, you probably can't go off a lot with this minion, but you really don't need to. You just need to keep this thing healthy, and just keep this alive, and just do a bunch of healing, and you just have this very scary board of dragons, because it's a freaking 3/3 Whelp. Just a 3/3 out of nowhere. That's kind of freaky, especially if you were able to summon multiples of them. I think this goes into Dragon Priest. This is just so scary. This sees play. I think this makes the deck.
Lady in White likes you as well, because it makes you a 9/9, but your 4 attack makes it to where other priests can't kill you. And you're summoning 3/3 Whelps while also being able to control the board. As I sit here and stroke my imaginary beard and go, yeah, no shit, you bloody play this. Like, this is just too good to not play. Since we're sticking in Priest, we go to Quartz Elemental. 5 cost, 5/8. It can't attack while damaged. It's an elemental. It's big, it's beefy, potential 5 cost 8/8 because of Lady in White. You're gonna be able to keep it healed and keep it on the board, so if you want to, you can use this as a control card. In Arena? Sure. Constructed? Well, give me a constructive argument. A constructed argument.
I'm not sure about constructed. I understand Lady in White. I also am considering this in terms of a Baku priest deck. I think a Baku priest deck is where this fits in the most, because you're going to have an easier time healing it up, because as long as it stays over half health, you can get it back up very easily. However, in any other priest deck, this, even with some really good healing tools, that's a lot to ask for, and all they need to do is just keep it damaged to keep it from being a threat. I'm not sure this sees play. Like I said, if a Baku Priest deck actually becomes a thing, this may see play, because I think that the hero power will be powerful enough to keep this topped off. But otherwise, I think your opponent is going to be able to keep it down, and it just is not going to make it worth it in the long run.
Baku Elemental Priest deck. Baku Elemental Priest deck.
I mean, we're at this point, we might as well already call Baku probably the most meta-defining card in the expansion.
Oh, no doubt. Or at least one of the most meta-defining ones.
Next up, we have Rabid Worgen, which is a 3-cost, 3/3 warrior minion with Rush. Stat line's not bad. Actually, this is a very good stat line. With Rush, yeah, this is good. A lot of the other Rush cards, minions have kind of been like, it depends. This one, I think, is just good no matter what. Even if it's not attacking and killing a minion, it's on the board, it has a decent stat line. This sees play, no matter what.
Town Crier, get your Town Crier trigger thing here. We're playing Rush Minions, we're playing Rush Warrior. Get your Town Crier, ding dong, ding dong. Yeah, this is like Rush Tempo Warrior. Why the hell not? You know? Yeah, sees play. Do we have enough time for one more?
Oh, we have enough time for several more.
Ooh.
And remember, I'm cutting this off, so.
We have Ratcatcher. 3 costs, 2/2. Battle Rush and Battle Cry. The Battle Cry is destroy a friendly minion and gain its attack and health. As if Q-Block needed more shit to make it broken. This breaks your cubes. And it has Rush. It becomes a 6/8 when it destroys a friendly minion and gains its attack and health. If you want to, you can also destroy your... And this is just way out there, mind you. You can destroy your Void Lord to make this a 5/11, but you wouldn't do that because that's just stupid. You can crack eggs with it to make it, you know, have more health. But just like I looked at Q-Block and I immediately and just like, this is disgusting. That deck. Bob.
I mean, I consider Q-Block, but I hadn't really thought past the Servant. But yeah, this is you've talked me into, because I'm going, there's some uses for it, but I'm not sure how much it sees play, and now I'm going, oh crap, Eddie talked me into this one. Oh crap.
See, I can make an argument at times. Whee!
Benbrode, why? Why?
T5, why?
Release Yogg from Blizzard Jail while you're at it, but why? God. Ratcatcher, oh. If people catch, oh yeah, people will catch on. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be a scary 3 cost. Oh crap. Well, next up we have Sandbinder, which is a 4 cost 2/4 with the battle cry. Draw an elemental from your deck. This could see play in elemental decks. I guess it just depends, because there's a lot of good cards that you want in your elemental decks, and I guess it just depends on whether you want a specific card draw attached to a non-elemental, or whether you want just normal card draw that can probably get you more cards and just draw what you want to and not really clog up your deck with Sandbinder. I think that's where I am with Sandbinder, is I think that the elemental decks are kind of like at a position where they don't really want a neutral non-elemental minion just to draw elementals from the deck. I think you would just want a regular draw. Maybe Shaman gets this, just because they don't have a consistent way to draw their elementals. But I think Mage just has better solutions. So this one's a big question mark for me. Maybe Elemental Shaman packs it in, but I'm just not sure about this card.
Well, if anything, like, let me make just one other kind of like idea to kind of kick your way. This is a neutral minion at cost 2/4. You can battle cry and just, as we've stated, just draw an elemental from your deck. Now, you don't have to specifically go, hey, I want it in my elemental-based deck. So, like, if you want to play it alongside to just yank Tar Creeper from your deck, if you want to put it in Priest to be able to make the call to have Lyra in your hand on turn 5, you can play that in that side, in that style of thing. So, if anything, this is more or less a resource and deck thinning card as well, so it makes use of that. So, do you get where I'm coming from there?
Yeah, you're thinking more of a combo enabler, allowing you to get a combo piece into your hand rather than for a travel deck. And I was just thinking, looking back on this, I may look at because I was looking at a few other cards. I'm just not sure because of basically how I want to play something like Everything's Coming Up for Ragnos. But basically, I might have some tools now to basically change a little bit of the way that I play that deck. And so that could be a little more interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why I was just like, hang on, you were going strictly tribal. I'm like, no, look at it as resource pull. Plus, if anything, like, I have to throw this one out there too because of potentially it being a card that goes into Quest Road, because it pulls Firefly from the deck. Being able to also potentially have this as a 5/5 on, or like 5/5 4 to be able to pull your Firefly, play your other little Firefly thing that spits out, and just have a board of 5/5s. Ah! Okay, brain, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to snap freeze.
Well, holding off, I actually did a miscount because of the way that the Play a Hearthstone site somehow put Witchwood Grizzly near the end. So I was thinking we had 8 cards left when we really have 7, which means I probably should have stopped at Ratcatcher. But
we'll stop at Sandbinder if anything.
Yeah, because I was going, we could either stop here, or we could do a super long episode to get it all done now.
Screw a super long episode?
Let's do it. Part 8, we're doing it. But that just means that we need to kind of hit these out. If you don't have anything significant to add to the conversation, let's just knock these out. Go.
Alright. If anything, snap freeze. 2 cost mage spell. Freeze a minion. If it's already frozen, destroy it. It's a better shatter. It really is. That's all I really got to say about it. Bull.
I mean, that's all you really can say about it. It's a better shatter, but in the end, does that mean it sees play? Probably not. Freeze Mage really doesn't exist anymore, so that probably means this card does not see play at all. Next up, we have Squashling, which is a 2-cost 2/1 Priest minion with Echo Battlecry, Restore 2 health. on the on one hand, I want to say this is bad, but when considering it with Nightscale Matriarch, this could be disgusting to just quickly fill up your board. That would make the 2/1 that would make this expendable. You can also hold this up for like a burst of healing later on if you need to. So it could see play in that type of deck, but I'm really not sold on it. I don't think it does.
My brain, because it's being incredibly stupid right now, goes, alright, I'm going to play this with my Death Knight. Squashing, I heal myself for 2. I damage you for 2. I heal myself for 2. I damage you for 2. And then I heal myself for 2. Pass. That's all I really got for it.
Yeah, other than like low combos like that, I don't think it has much of a chance at all.
Alright. Gonna move on to Swamp Leech. 1 cost, 2/1 Beast. Lifesteal. Pack filler. But it's a good 1-drop, I give it that. As far as attack and health, at least attack-wise, good. Bulb?
I was going, well, Hunter's losing some 1-drops. They may want to consider running it, but I'm also thinking they also have a lot of better 1-drops. So yeah, I think this is pack filler. Even though the lifesteal is appetizing, it's just like that Viper. It's just not going to see play because of that health.
Yeah.
Next up is Tanglefur Mystic, which is 3 cost 3/4 with a battle cry. Add a random 2 cost minion to each player's hand. Actually, this is not bad, I think. I mean, you always risk giving your opponent a Doomsayer, but you can also always give yourself a Doomsayer. So I don't think that's a big downside. The stat line is good for 3, so 3 cost 3/4, and you're getting value. You're also giving some value to your opponent, so that might work against Tanglefur Mystic. Could see play, but it might be doubtful because the whole idea of you're giving value to your opponent instead of just yourself, and not a lot of people care about 2-cost minions. I think this might see play in Arena. Again, the downside of the battle cry it would kind of be kind of big there. But I think this does have some potential. We just have to see how everything kind of evens out.
Point, and point. Because it's just, like, you give a random 2-cost minion to each of you. Yes, Doomsayer can go to your opponent, and it can also come to you. You can also run the idea of potentially giving your opponent and yourself Nat Pagel, Millhouse Mana Storm, and just some 2 costs that are just meh. Other 2 costs that are kind of high up there, like Blood Mage Thalanos as well. So it's just like, I'm gonna just say Arena, run away. Unpowered Steambot. 4 cost, 0/9, mech with taunt. That's big. That goes in Lady in White, and you just make your opponent cry. A 4 cost 9/9. Other than that, nope. Just like, I mean, maybe in your mech deck, but nope. Just nope. Bulb.
You put this in your mech deck? No. Lady in White, that's about it. Walnut Sprite, 3 cost 3/3 with Echo. Stat lines are good for 3. We say that Echo can be powerful in that regard, but you also have to consider that unless you have something else along with the Echo, there's not much incentive to really play this. So you can play 3 of these on turn 9. Is that powerful enough? I'm not sure. You may just want better cards in that slot. Out of the Echo cards, I'm not sure this sees play because I think not having that extra ability along with Echo, even if it's just something like Taunt or Rush or something like that, I think really hurts this card.
The only argument that I can make for it would be for Wild, and that's using Evolve. That's it. That's the only thing I can use, and you have better things that you can use for evolve anyway. Okay, arena. That's it. Just arena, and I will shut my mouth. Lastly, we have Witchwood Imp. 1 cost, 1/1, stealth, death rattle. Give a random friendly minion +2 health. It is a demon. It dilutes the demon pool that you can actively get from that 1 cost spell, because that 1 cost spell will be highly anticipating, highly looking in Warlock to put stuff into your hand. And its death rattle is give a random friendly minion +2 health. I don't think this sees play. Bob, can you prove me wrong on that one?
See, this would be the case when we were talking about the whole death rattle and buffing minions. This would be one where I go, this might have a shot because it has stealth, so you can definitely get it. You can definitely use it to move things around. It's just not a complete waste. You know, it's a 1 cost demon. You know, everything could work out there. But again, you're completely right. It's just not good enough. Dilutes the pool. You're not really interested in that death rattle effect because death rattle buff effects are rarely that good. There are a few that I consider actually very good, but they are not. They weren't ran widely anyway. So there we go. This is just a bad card. It's just a C play at all. And that's the Witchwood, guys. We hope that you enjoy. The expansion hits tomorrow. I know there are a few decks that Eddie and I are going to try out. Normally, we would have split this up into. Normally, we might have done an extra video where we covered some cards and just talked about some stuff concerning the expansions. But I think you already have an idea what kind of decks we want to test out anyway. So it's not like we're like what cards we like, what cards we. So it's not really going to really surprise anybody. I think there's some interesting ideas, and I'm willing to test out and see how the meta shapes. Eddie, any final words?
I'm ready. My body is ready to go. Let's do this, Witchwood. Let's go.
All right, we will see you tomorrow for the release. Next week, we're just going to let off some steam and do a challenge. So, see you guys later.